In April of 1983, Karen Schepers, a 23-year-old woman from Elgin, left a bar in Carpentersville after a night out with coworkers, and she's never been seen again. Now, a recently created cold case unit in the Elgin Police Department is hoping to finally solve a mystery that has persisted for decades.
The detectives believe the public can help, and that's why they're launching a new podcast called Somebody Knows Something.
All right, apparently this case has been looked at from time to time over the years, but not with any success. I guess on this particular time, the planets were aligned. They had the detectives available to put full-time resource into it. They looked at it with fresh eyes. They had the technology that they could use, and they put it all together and were very successful in locating the vehicle.
Elgin Police and a team called Chaos Divers searching the Fox River Monday morning.
Now, at this point in the story, the search has begun in the Fox River from the Carpentersville area all the way down to this area here in Elgin. As you can see here on these maps, I've got a map here with a red marking in the river, which is the approximate location of where the vehicle was located. It was mostly on the other side of the river from where she lived. Karen lived on the east side of the river, but worked on the west side. It is still unknown how that vehicle ended up in the water. All right, through a website called WeatherSpark, I was able to get the weather conditions for the night of April 16th, 1983, when Karen and her vehicle disappeared, never to be seen again. All right, conditions were at around 11 o'clock. Looks like maybe light snow flurries, if that. The moon at that time was a waxing crescent, so it was a sliver of a moon, not much light. Cloud cover, looks like it was overcast and mostly cloudy, so the moonlight wouldn't have really helped. Around 1 a.m., the temperature was 28.9 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's showing clear. The overcast conditions might have dissipated, and the crescent moon might have come out. However, again, because it was such a small moon that there wouldn't have been much light. Next segment, we'll see how the vehicle was discovered.
Elements in Elgin tonight. Divers there have found the license plate of a woman who disappeared 40 years ago. Yellow Toyota Celica off the road. The police chief of Elgin says that she hopes to bring closure to the family.
If this, is one of those steps that we need to take, and there's a lot of resources and time, but it's absolutely necessary and something that we're going to make sure that we do, and we do it the right way.
And so efforts to remove that Toyota Celica from the water will continue.
Now, as you've just seen here, they were successfully able to locate the vehicle, and recovery operations were commenced. Now, I arrived at the recovery location a little after noon. Scoped out the area and then got my camera equipment and checked out what was the recovery scene. As you can see here on these maps, I've got a map here with a red marking in the river, which is the approximate location of where the vehicle was located. It was mostly on the other side of the river from where she lived. Karen lived on the east side of the river, but worked on the west side. Now, the next video segments will show the on-scene activity that was occurring, and I'll take you around the area. You can see the operations in progress, and at the very end you can see the recovery of the vehicle. However, according to a joint statement released by both the police and fire departments, apparently a person approached the police as they were recovering the vehicle at the site and reported that in 2022, while fishing near the location where the vehicle was eventually found, the sonar equipment the fisherman was using detected an unusual object in the Fox River. So he contacts the Elgin Fire Department and conveys the information to them. They then deploy their dive team to investigate. Okay, cool so far. The dive team begin their search using an underwater remote-operated vehicle equipped with both camera and sonar technology. The dive team identified what appeared to be a small vehicle submerged in the water. A diver then entered the river and made physical contact with a tire. However, the tire's small diameter led the diver to prematurely conclude that the object in the water was likely an ATV or a UTV, a utility task vehicle. No further investigation was subsequently conducted. The Elgin Police Department apparently had no knowledge of the dive team's activities before the car was found. So apparently it's a case of one hand not knowing what the other hand was doing. Apparently this vehicle could have been recovered 3 years ago. Not that they could have done anything for Karen back then, but at least they could have resolved the case earlier and brought closure to the family a few years before this. It looks like this case was solved with a little luck, a lot of determination, science, and above all, great police work by the detectives involved. In fact, we'll end this video with them in their own words describing how they came about this process. And until the next video, take care.
We've always been kind of an innovative department, so doing a podcast was something that we thought was a new technology that we could use to try to help with this case.
The idea with taking this case and putting it on the podcast is that somebody, somewhere across the country, maybe they listen to it and just maybe it flips a switch in their mind to say, oh, I remember that night, or I remember seeing her or her car.